Call the meeting to order. Please rise and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Renee, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Canfield.
Here.
Commissioner Orthwein. Here. Vice Mayor Stanley.
Here.
Mayor Morgan.
Here.
Let it also be known, present and participating is Town Manager Dunham, Assistant Town Attorney Nazaro, Chief Jones, CFO Mark Bymaster, and myself, absent with notice, is Commissioner Green.
Very good. Been presented with the minutes from our last meeting on May 9th. Are there any comments, changes?
Motion to approve the minutes
Good.
from May 9th, 2025.
Second?
Renee?
Commissioner Canfield.
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. Any changes to the agenda, Mr. Dunn?
No, sir.
Very good. Our next meeting is July 11th for anyone who wishes to attend at 9 a.m. We do have a tentative budget meeting on September 12th at 5:01. And our final budget meeting will be September 24th at 5:01. That means that our regular meeting in September will start at 4 p.m., not 9 a.m. as is normal. We have Rhonda. Hi.
Hi.
General Counsel from Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Rhonda Geiger. Thanks for having me again. Kind of just the annual check-in to remind everybody that we're here 15 years now. It's our 15-year anniversary. So we have jurisdiction over every city and town within Palm Beach County, including Palm Beach County and its employees and officials. So continuing on in our mission, just transparency and accountability and being here for everybody, community outreach and training if anybody needs it. But yeah, here we are. And I've left some new ethics guides. We have a reprint, a couple of very minor changes in the code. But the new guides are there. The new pocket guides are there if anybody would like to peruse that or keep it handy. And I'm here for questions if anybody has any.
Are we back to the regular financial disclosure?
I knew you were going to ask me about that. That's a state form. So the best I can give you is to call the state. We don't have anything to do with the state disclosure form. We don't require disclosure in the county.
Okay, you got ethics in your name.
So I know.
Question.
And, when I worked for the state, obviously I had to do the form as well. So I get it, but we don't, it's not our form, so I can't really address it. I know there was a lot of controversy with respect to it, but it's not our form. We don't have any crossover in that
Very good.
arena. Sorry about that. Or I'm not sorry.
No.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no disclosure for us.
Well, thank you, Rhonda.
Anything
Appreciate it
else?
Very much. Any questions?
No. All right. And as a reminder, right, we're here for trainings or outreach. We have a media outreach person now, so can come and just do presentations without going into a full training if you don't want a full training. But we're also happy to provide full trainings if anybody's interested in that. I promise you, it's so much better live than the video. I promise. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again. All right, let's move on then to our public hearing. Any ex parte communications on the matter before us?
None here.
No. Very good. Anyone who speaks today, please rise and be sworn.
Raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and help you God.
All right, this is Blue Water Cove, Lot 6.
Good morning. My name is Luis Rivera from Affinity Architects,
Morning.
and we're presenting Lot 6, Blue Water Cove. First, next slide is the location of the lot in comparison to the other lots. This is a 2-story Anglo-Caribbean style home. This slide is showing all the other homes that have been approved and are under approval. Lot 6 is the third 2-story home we're submitting. The difference between that one and the other two stories is, one, the style, and two, the way the entry works in comparison to the other two 2-story homes. Next slide is the adjacent lots on each side of the home. Ours is lot 6. Lot 7 is another 2-story, and on the left is a 1-story home. Next slide is the site plan with all the calculations required. Next slide, first floor plan. This one is different from the other 2-story homes. The lot is a different size from the other home, so we were able to add more square footage to this one. Next slide is the second floor, which is also different from the existing 2 homes. Next is the material items for these homes: shutters, railings, colors. Next is the rear elevation, and the next one as well is 2-story views of the home from all sides. And the next one for landscaping, we're gonna have our colleague Louis Blajos from Majestic Views.
Good morning. My name is Louis Blajos, Majestic Views Landscape Architects. This is one of the largest lots that are around the cul-de-sac. So as far as open space, it's really nice. We have existing buffers to the west of a clusia hedge and an 8-foot calophyllum hedge to the east that already been approved for those 2 adjacent lots. Again, in the rear, we have the green buttonwoods that were part of our buffer requirements. And this client just wanted something that was layered, kind of architecturally simple, you know, and some color. We have bougainvilleas in the front, flagging the entry court area with some hibiscus. Foxtail palms. I think the elevations really depict this project very, the other ones that we had for the architect. The renderings, yes. Yeah. Well, there you go. We have in the front entry the large 16-foot plus clear trunk foxtail palms working with the architecture, the bougainvilleas around the court area with some other flowering layered plants. As you can see, the 2 and 3 layers, very simple, very architectural. Japanese blueberries on either side of the 1-story areas. The other thing that also we have 2 clusia trees at the entry of the motor court and driveway with a podocarpus hedge that pretty much blocks any kind of cars or activity into that. As far as the back is concerned, again, we have some flowering plants, some bougainvilleas, palms of Adonidia and foxtail palms lining the pool. And that's about it.
The 2D elevations for the rear
Right.
represent more of
What they don't show in the rear, there's the large hedges. That's on the east right there that are going in between 8 and 10 feet. The 2 kind of yellowish green trees, one of them is on the lot 7 and the other one we're kind of matching and juxtaposing on this lot. So they work together to screen the 2 homes, you know, in addition. And this is the rear. Again, the one thing other than that hedge on the rear property is that we also have a buffer of fishtail palms. So it's completely screened.
So the rear is fishtail palms?
Well, there's fishtail palms that are not shown here that are existing. They were put in initially, you know, as part of an agreement to an additional buffer. The hedge that we're showing is in front of the fishtail palms. So as they get taller and a little bit leggier on the bottom, that will fill in. And then there's the layered plantings in front of that that would be more visible to the clients, the owners, et cetera. So a series of layers and buffers.
That works.
It works for me. I love my privacy.
Questions on the landscaping? On the building itself?
Can you look at the east elevation, the second floor again? I know it's not facing when you're driving up. No, that's the, yeah, so there's no, can you go back one, please? Right there, yeah, so that's the west elevation, has the one window on the setback second story, and the east elevation, there's no window there. There's
Correct,
a
yeah,
bathroom
but
there or
that's
something.
set back because the garage is pretty deep, so
Yeah.
that's barely visible. And it
Okay.
would be only for light purposes,
Yeah,
and I believe it conflicts with the,
yeah, what's,
with the bedroom on the second
there's something
floor.
there that's in the way, I think.
Yeah, I guess we could put one on the bedroom side.
Let's see what that is.
It would be the front bedroom on the second floor.
That's the front. So we'll put my finger on the second floor plan. Yeah. What is that?
What page is the second floor?
It's hiding from me. A4. Floor plan. Oh, A4?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, there it is.
8-4. Yeah.
The right, very front, so that's. So this one would be over the garage here.
Yeah.
So there's a stairwell, and then the,
Correct.
on the east side, and then there's the bedroom.
And we already comply with the egress. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why we didn't put a window there.
What's the dimensions of the smaller bedroom?
It's hard to see there, but it's about 14.
17 by 14.
14, yeah.
1 by 14.3, and the other one's
Can't read it.
17 by 16.6.
Okay. Good.
And they're not small.
No, that's good. It
Mhm.
looks, it's
Like
not.
I don't think that wall's very big. Where the chair is.
Other questions on the architecture, the design, the interior, anything else? If- How about you, John?
No,
Okay. If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion for to approve application 25-11, Blue Water Cove, property located at 2921, Lot 6, Gulfstream, Florida, described as West Way Addition Number 2, Lot 6. This is for a level 3 architectural and site plan permit to construct a new 2-story home, 5,733 square feet, Anglo-Caribbean style, single family, including new landscape, hardscape, and 2.5-car garage and swimming pool.
second.
Ms. Basil?
Commissioner Canfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley,
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes.
We moved, do we need this,
Thank you.
Yeah.
do we need that one, any
Do we need
modification?
minor modifications?
Yeah.
Yes, please, if you don't mind reading.
Let's just add that.
Amend the motion to also add the following condition. Any minor modifications to approved landscaping shall be submitted to the town manager for review and approval. Any major modifications shall be brought back to ARPB for review and approval prior to the commencement of the landscaping.
I'll second that.
Renee?
Commissioner Canfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley,
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. Okay, very good. Thank you, Joan. Town manager's report, CIP update.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This won't take long, but I would like to at least open this up by saying we are pleased with the progress that they're making. I think one of the reasons is that they've not run into water. Like they wasn't necessary to do as much dewatering in phase 2 as it was phase 1. But so just a few points here about their progress. The valley gutters have been installed from Gulfview all the way down to Lakeview. As a matter of fact, they are doing road reconstruction from Gulfview to Lakeview, correct?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. They are completed with the road reconstruction in between Gulfview and Lakeview. They're putting asphalt down this morning,
So they
from
are.
my understanding, yes.
Okay. I mean, I saw the asphalt machine parked out here. So I guess they got it.
I haven't
moved up
spoke to
there?
them directly this morning, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna
Yeah.
asphalt because they having issues with people driving on it this morning, so.
Yeah, so we were hoping that they might, they were saying that they might be able to do that portion of asphalt that much today. We're never really sure if that will happen, but I did see the asphalt machine this morning. So that's good. The stormwater or the storm drains are done from Gulfview to basically down to Dr. Mazzio's house. The water is complete all the way down here to
Mrs.
the
Bean's
venues,
house.
just up here around the curve. And now on Banyan, there's been the block between Gulfview and Polo. There's been no water or drainage.
Correct, there's no water and no drainage. Water is not being placed on Banyan, but the drainage is, and they started putting in structures day before yesterday, but they ran into a conflict with some of the utilities that sit there in the corner from FPNL.
I saw
So
the catch basin was sitting there with a big hole on
Yes,
Banyan and Polo.
Yeah.
So that's what they had to look at.
correct.
So I would say, and I think the chief would agree with me, that their maintenance of traffic has been
Much better.
that's right. Then phase 1, I think it's not as complicated, which may be part of the reason that it's much better. But part of the problem for them is being able to maintain their flaggers. I mean, sometimes they come and then they go. So, but I think they've been able to keep most of these guys. And so we're much more pleased with their maintenance of traffic than in phase 1.
Any questions, manager? Yep, very good.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. ARPB meeting, next one will be June 26th at 8:30 a.m. A reminder, there will be no August meeting. Finance report, water and financial reports, Mr. Dunham.
Yes, the balance sheet that you have here represents 66% of the budget. I did want to, and I remembered what I wanted to ask you, Renee. The mayor may have mentioned it, at our July meeting is when we'll be setting the tentative?
Tentative military. Yeah.
Tentative millage rate. So we are working on the budget diligently now as we speak. So, and when we set that, the rules are that you can't go any higher than what you set it at the July meeting, but you can go down from that.
Okay,
So,
sharpen the pencil. Okay. Any questions on our financial reports? If not, Chief, please
Morning,
report.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I would ask that you accept the report as submitted. I will brief you on a couple things just quickly. Last month, we did have a stolen vehicle in Plus Osalé that was left unsecured. The vehicle was taken. We recovered it within 72 hours, and it resulted in $6 million worth of recovery of other stolen property as well. So we did not too bad in that case. But ultimately, that's going to turn into a much bigger federal case now as well. Secondly, we are seeing a trend in a new scam that results in stolen vehicles as well. So everybody should be aware of it. If you hire a company to transport your vehicle from Florida to another state or from another state to Florida, beware of third parties who are seeking and gathering that information through false means and then contacting you directly and asking you to have a tow truck that they provide free of charge to come and pick your vehicle up due to the neighborhood that you may live in not being capable of accommodating a bigger truck. If they send a small tow truck, the tow truck rediverts your vehicle to another location and ultimately it is stolen. So I'm working a case out of New York involving one of those vehicles being done that way, as well as a case out of our community where it was also done that way. Same people involved in both cases, so we're going after that with some subpoenas and such. But just be alert and aware of that. Other than that, everything is normal on the trends that you see. Activity is all normal, so really nothing to report there. If you have any questions about that, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And then I'd just like to brief you on a small construction project that we will likely start in the police department.
Questions? If not,
All right. So as you know, we have talked previously about some of the changes we've made within the police department. One of the areas we haven't been able to focus on has been the bathroom and locker room. It is quite outdated. Tiles falling off the wall. It's just gotten to the point where we need to do some repairs there. So we've started that project with ordering of lockers, which have a long time lead for them. And then we will bring back to you next month a request to proceed with the bathroom portion of the project, since it obviously exceeds our authority to proceed without your permission. And that's it.
yeah, it certainly makes sense. It's the one area that hasn't been renovated, and we now have male and female police officers, and it certainly makes sense to address that. So.
And I would just follow up by saying, and it's too bad our person is gone, but I wanted to assure you guys that they did reach out for bids on both the lockers and the contract for the repairs to the bathroom.
Very good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the loan from Seacoast National. Before we address the resolution, I think it should be presented to us in a summary fashion.
Sure.
What it is we're proposing.
Okay, yes. So this is a resolution that will trigger the authorization of the town to borrow funds from Seacoast Bank to make certain capital improvements. The authorization is to issue a note in the principal amount not to exceed $7 million. And then there are some terms and conditions of that note. And I'll mention a couple of them. I do have Mr. Ronnie Hauk, who is from Seacoast Bank here, and Mark is here that can help with any kind of questions that you might have. So this would require an immediate draw from that loan of $50,000 so that this loan can be tax exempt. And that we would use that $50 to pay attorney's fees and bank commitment fees. And then whatever's left over, we would deposit into a new fund, a debt service fund that we will be creating. The town would have a draw period of 1 year, which is like a line of credit. There are some requirements with respect to that 1 year draw period in terms of how much you can draw and how often you need to draw. But our plan really is to do the required $50,000 draw and not again, we have a year to convert it into the term is 15 years to pay back. That would be like a mortgage. So we have a year to do that. Our plan is to wait until around December, perhaps November or December, to see exactly where our expenses are and the expenses that remain for the project that we're doing here and for the water main from Boynton Beach. And so I think those are some of the basic requirements. I don't know what I might have left out here.
Yeah, you have 1 year to you enter the draw period where you draw the amounts related for the expenditures related to the core area project and the Boynton water main project. And then once the town has decided this is the amount that we've completed all the draws within that 12-month period. So either at the end of the 12-month period or before, once you decide it, you can convert it you initiate into the principal payment period, which is the 15-year amortization period.
So you can draw up to $7 million within 12 months of the execution of this agreement. However, you cannot draw any after that 1 year. Is that right?
Yes.
So you have to assess very carefully how much money you may require.
Yeah.
But-
and you want to do that by November or December, which is 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
And my understanding on if we draw during that one year period, then our payments are only paying interest. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And not the
During the
principal.
draw period, whatever you draw, you're just paying interest only on it. You can pay principal on it, but whatever you pay principal on it, you can no longer redraw. It is now removed from the 7 million balance.
Okay. We probably wouldn't be drawing if you were paying principal anyways.
Yeah.
So we have some estimated amounts that remain from our project right now and the Boynton project. And those our estimates at this point are around $9.5 million that remain for roadway, the Boynton Beach project, and then the engineers.
How much do we have in reserves, Mr. Dillon? Both water and our regular reserves.
I have to get an update on that. And you got to remember, we're doing this all with the requirement to not go below $4 million in our fund balance.
It's currently about 13 to 14 million in both the general fund and the water fund and the money market accounts.
That's total.
Yeah.
That's total,
Okay.
including the 4 million for the reserve,
Yes.
Yeah, that would
correct.
include that.
Mhm.
included in that number.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's healthy reserves.
Yeah.
All right, we can address that later on when we get a better idea of what.
But the goal is to figure out the exact amount,
Right.
and then we draw, and then we enter into the 15-year period. That way, you're not paying interest on. You're not taking draws and paying interest on amounts that you don't necessarily need immediately.
And the interest rate,
It's 5.32.
and that's fixed.
Yes, correct.
Are we taking the money from the water fund to pay for the water? Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Correct.
Right.
They're two separate accounts.
Yes,
Yeah.
two separate funds. So
So how much do we have just in the water fund, did you say?
2 million.
Okay, and this project is,
Less than 2 million.
It's less than that.
okay. So are we going to use all that for the project? Because we don't
Yeah.
need a reserve for
Yes,
the water.
if
I mean, that's what I think, right?
Oh,
because-
I see where you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't need reserve for water because we're going to build this. new-
yes, you would
Correct.
you would use it all in the water. You also have the you have approximately 2 million in the what's the reserve fee that's charged in the water fund? That's supposed to be used towards these projects,
right.
that are restricted
Right,
towards these projects.
okay.
So we're gonna use that towards the project. And then for some reason, if the cost goes above the reserves in the water fund, then you would transfer funds from the general fund
right,
into the water fund.
But we don't anticipate it
Yeah.
going above this, right? Okay,
Correct.
so we're not borrowing any money for this project, for the water. We're gonna use what we have.
Correct.
Okay.
The water fund wouldn't have any debt service.
Exactly what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
But our other will.
Yeah, we're actually gonna create a whole separate fund called a debt service fund, where you transfer funds into that fund, and you pay the principal and interest out of that fund.
What's the interest on that account?
Because
if we're having to draw a large sum of money by the end of the year, we don't need the money then. So we're going to keep it in this account. That account, if it's interest bearing, will help offset what we're ultimately paying.
correct, it'll be the same interest, which is approximately around 4 to 4.2%. It'll be in a Seacoast money market account.
Right.
So it'll be the same as the rest of the money market accounts for the town.
All right. So there's approximately a point difference.
Yeah, correct.
How much more do we own for the construction? How much have we paid?
The balance for the roadway is approximately 7 million currently.
The balance due.
Yeah, the balance due.
And when's the estimated completion date?
It's early next
I
year.
would say,
February 26th.
It's about the time we have to make a decision.
Yes, correct. That's why
That's
we were looking at this December, because we by December, I think that the town will know exactly where all the costs are related to roadway and the Boynton project.
Cool.
Because hopefully there's no more change orders, but we were looking at if there was possible any change orders to the roadway project. But it's not anticipated as of now.
And there's no prepayment penalty, as I recall.
That's correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, we have other CIP projects in the pipeline.
Yeah, so we would determine how much of the loan proceeds we would want to put towards the core area project and the Boynton project, so that the town determines what the healthy reserves they would need to determine ongoing operations.
Okay, very good. Joan, other questions?
No, I'll talk to you later.
Rob,
I
Tony?
have a few more details, but I won't bore everybody.
All right, thank you very much. If there are no other questions, we have a resolution.
Mayor, I'm gonna cite a voting conflict for the resolution, but you have a quorum.
Okay. Then you're recused. Vice recused. Is there a motion, resolution needs to be read.
Resolution 2503, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the town to borrow funds from Seacoast National Bank in the principal amount not to exceed $7 million to make certain capital improvements as previously authorized by the Town Commission, awarding the note to Seacoast National Bank by negotiated sale, approving a loan agreement between the town and Seacoast National Bank, designating the note as a bank qualified obligation under Section 265B of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, providing for reimbursement, providing for repeal of conflicting resolutions, and providing an effective date of today, June 13th, 2025.
Resolution 25-03 has been read. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll approve resolution 25-03.
Second.
Renee?
Commissioner Canfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's move on then to Baxter and Woodman, Rebecca Travis, amendment number 4.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of financial obligations.
Good morning. Rebecca Travis with Baxter and Woodman. Good morning, Mayor and Commission. So I want to start with saying that although we have a reference to 9 months, that is not an extension of the contract. The construction contract currently has a 56-day approved extension. So the original completion date was December 13th of 25, and now it's February 7th of 26. Those change orders on the time have already been approved based on some additional road widening and the water main change and some weather holiday delays. So the calculations that we have in this amendment for our work have to do with additional time required based on basically 3 things. The first is the contract was approved in December, but the contractor wasn't given notice to proceed to go out in the field till, I believe it was April. So there was time, we'd anticipated like maybe a month or to do shop drawings and get the paperwork in, and then the contractor would start. But we delayed the contractor actually going out in the field, I believe, Greg, you can correct me, but to miss the season. So instead of starting in January in the field, I believe we moved it to April, but regardless.
Part of the reason they didn't have the dewatering permit.
And they didn't have you're right, the dewatering permit. So we had some months in there where we were doing contract administration, reviewing submittals, coordinating with the contractor, because the start was delayed. The second thing is the change orders that I already mentioned added 56 days to the contract. And then the third thing is our original contract had part-time field inspection of 25 hours a week for a single inspector. And we had monthly progress meetings with the contractor. In the way we've been operating is that we're doing a main progress meeting still a month, but we're also doing end of week of every Friday. We're also doing a meeting to keep the contractor on task. And then our inspectors, we're having at least one full-time inspector. And now the contractor has up to 4 crews working instead of a single crew. So we need to have at least 2 people generally working in the field full-time. And there's been additional coordination with just getting this contract, underway. There was initially, we had problems with the guy even showing up and doing the work in the field and getting the dewatering permit and getting him going. And he only had a single crew. But since then, we've been coordinating with the town and the town manager and Anthony, I guess he's left, and Trey. So we've got him on task. He's got multiple crews on there. He's doing much better, especially on this phase 2. So it's just a matter of substantially more staffing to manage the contractor.
Well, if I can summarize it, so we had a contractual amount of about $172,000 for the engineering work on the project and oversight. There has been additional work done and additional work expected in the future, which I think you say is about $89,000, but there's a credit for unused portions from the original agreement, $21,000. So you're requesting a contract amendment of $68,169.86.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
I will say that there were periods of time when we only needed one inspector out there. So we said we only need one. because there was a period during phase one where they just weren't doing a lot of work.
Yes, we staff according to the need. We're not sending somebody out there if the contractor's not working.
Yeah, to sit under a
So
shade
this,
tree.
so will this cover us for, since when we were starting phase two, we were, because it was less complex than, so everybody told us it was less complex than phase one. We were anticipating just having one inspector out there in the town staff, but if they're running multiple crews and kind of, I'm gonna hesitate to use the word expedite.
Yeah, I think,
So we're gonna
and
need to know. So does this
Anthony's
cover-
not here. I know they have at least 2 crews out
So
there
does this
all
cover
the
having
time.
two people in the field, Rebecca, going through probably the end date, or is it kind of fluctuate? We don't know.
Yeah, yes. Typically, you need more inspectors when they're doing underground work
Yeah.
because you got to watch them put the pipe in the ground or the structures. Once they get into the paving and the restoration, then you need less people, or they can come by in an afternoon and look at stuff and see how it goes. And they
So-
don't.
So in response to your statement
Yes.
or question, I mean, if it gets to the point where we only need one, we'll just say we only
Yes.
need one out there.
If we're getting to the 15-yard line, we don't, I'd rather have more than less, because when we start checking the water lines, front pressure, checking those, checking the drainage, getting the
Yep.
final permitting.
Yeah, before we have the health department come in.
We didn't,
and
did we
inspect
have,
it.
if we go back to phase, this is kind of important because it's summer and then all of a sudden September comes around, everyone's like, on phase one, did we ever have 4 crews out there? Because we wanted 2 people in the field from Baxter just because of what we were dealing with.
True, but you got to remember we had our Anthony
Right, yeah, no, I
was out there
understand.
too.
This
So we
always
really
includes
had
Anthony.
3 people
Yeah, no,
out
this
there
continually
because
includes Anthony and town staff.
because I can remember days where they had at least 3 and sometimes 4
Okay.
crews
I got it.
operating at the same time. So we definitely have had to use
Okay.
Anthony.
Yep.
In that regard.
But part of this is to relieve the pressure on our Anthony Beltran, who's been spending an exorbitant amount of time assisting the engineers instead of.
Yeah, it's where he comes in, he and Wayne come in so handy is, with respect to the existing utilities that are underground, and giving them support in that regard. Although we've been having some issues with the Florida Public Utilities, the gas lines. And we talked about that a little, Mayor, the other day. So, but yeah, I mean, they've been supporting mainly with existing utilities and where to dig.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
When your completion date is February 13th or 8th or something, I forgot what.
February 7th, 26.
Are you going to be, do you know the construction? Are you going to be paving roads in January, February, or December? Or are you going to be finishing up little things like mailboxes and driveways?
In December, they'll probably be paving, but typically the contractor takes off the week between Christmas and New Year's. That's up to him. He can still work it, but paving, the restoration, the cleanup on the mailboxes and that should be probably January.
Okay.
Yeah, the final punch list.
How long do you think it'll take them to pave all this again?
Then once phase 2 is done, then they're going to pave phase 1 and 2 together with a final lift of asphalt.
Okay.
Asphalt.
And repair the curbs and valley gutters.
Yes.
Correct.
When's that to be done?
That'll probably be January.
About that time.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of work done.
Yeah, and we, if you remember, we came to you and identified, I don't know, 4 or 5 areas where we need to put the F curbs, because transitioning the right of way would destroy the vegetation that these people have had, and just because of the difference in the elevations. So that's part of what they'll be doing at the end.
Well, they can do that curb
Oh, yeah,
earlier
because they're gonna be
than
doing
the
some,
end.
they're gonna be doing some F curbs in phase 2. So I think their plans are to do
Right, when they have the
those.
concrete trucks out, they'll do
Right,
it at that
right.
time.
Other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve Baxter and Woodman's proposal for additional construction services known as Amendment Number 4 as presented?
Motion to approve Amendment 4 as presented?
Second.
Renee?
Commissioner Canfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley,
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Rebecca. Okay, I'd like to just take a moment to congratulate our town clerk, Renee Basil, who was honored by the Florida League of Cities with its 2025 Home Rule Hero Award for her efforts during the last legislative session in advancing the interests of home rule for small municipalities like us. So thank you very much, Renee. You bring honor to our town.
And that's statewide.
Yeah, no, it's the Florida League of Cities, not Palm Beach County.
Right.
No, really, wonderful award, well-deserved, and we want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Then on another note, our Paul Lyons, former commissioner, now chair of the Architectural Review and Planning Board, lost his wife a couple months ago. Susie Lyons was a friend of a number of us here. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Paul, to Olivia, and to the other Lyons family members. If there's nothing else, meeting's adjourned.